So the Flash movie is out in theaters now, and I finished watching it. And I have to say, it's not bad. Like the way people are talking about it online makes it seem like the movie is bad. The only thing that I have issues with is the cameos, how they did them, and the VFX effects. Like the director came and said this. Like it's part of how they wanted to do it. It was a style. Like, what are you talking about? Like, then every movie that has a bad CGI or VFX effects can also come and say what you just said. But anyway, this video is about all the cameos in the Flash movie. First off, Temuera Morrison, he makes a cameo as Aquaman's dad, but this time in a different universe. When Barry arrives in this new uncharted timeline, he tries to call and get help from Aquaman, but Aquaman doesn't exist in this timeline, and that's where we get this cameo from. Of course, we all know that Ben Affleck is in the movie. He's been in the trailers. But one thing many people do not see is Jeremy Irons, who makes a cameo as the guy in the chair, the trusted butler Alfred. And one surprising cameo that this is the first of is Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman. Like, no one expected it. They didn't parade it in the trailers like Shazam did. And it was cool seeing her, considering that her third movie has been put on pause. We don't know whether she's going to be Wonder Woman again in James Gunn's new DCU. And in the movie, she can fly. I mean, Wonder Woman flies in the comics. It depends, but most of the time she flies. And in the DCU that we've come to know, she doesn't fly in the present. We saw her fly in Wonder Woman 1984, but that is a prequel. And in BVS and Zack Snyder's Justice League, we never saw her fly, but it doesn't matter. It was cool seeing her. And there were several references to Aquaman, Cyborg, and Henry Cavill's Superman, confirming that the movie takes place after Justice League, after defeating Steppenwolf, and that the team have kept in touch. And in this instance, Batman called Barry, the Flash, for help, and Wonder Woman also showed up. Now, one cameo that people may have missed is when past Barry is testing his new abilities and he snatches a hot dog from a random guy. That guy is Nicholas Costa, our Lannister in Game of Thrones, unexpectedly popping up here. Now, one cameo that people would definitely be sad and angry about is Henry Cavill's Superman. They did reference him earlier in the movie with Wonder Woman, Batman, and the Flash's scene, but they showed a CGI version of him. That shot where we see Justice League, where he's fighting the team after his resurrection. This guy has been done dirty by Warner Bros. And yeah, James Gunn says he doesn't want him. He needs a fresh Superman, a younger Superman. So we'll see. Anyway, the rest of the cameos take place in the final act of the movie when Barry screws everything up with his other Barry, his past self, and the universes are colliding and everything is ending up in destruction. We see one of the first live-action Superman, George Reeves, and by the way, the ones you see here are all CGI. The next is Christopher Reeve's iconic Superman and Helen Slater's Supergirl, actually together. One thing that people wanted like years ago when they started making their movies, but it never happened. They also showed the classic Batman Adam West, and one of the most surprising ones again is Nicolas Cage's Superman. For people who did not know, Tim Burton was going to make a Superman movie and Nicolas Cage was the one going to play the character. They did testing on costumes, among other things, but sadly the movie was cancelled. Like, what will it be like to see Nicolas Cage play Superman? How would it feel? How would it look? The tone? Like, sadly we will never know, but we got his cameo, and I must admit, apart from the CGI mess, I don't know whether he was actually there to film it. You would hope so since he's alive, but they de-aged him and that's why it looks so weird. But anyway, I must admit, it's one of the coolest moments. Like, the whole scene was freaking epic. Now at this point, you may be wondering, I've been talking about different people, different cameos. There's two Batman, Michael Keaton, Ben Affleck, but where's the Flash's own variant? His past self, Barry, is not a variant of himself. Now we did get a Flash variant, and that is Teddy C.S. J. Garrick. Weird one, right? You would think that they would do research before putting him in the movie, since he played a character, J. Garrick, who was fake he was Zoom all along and he had, kidnapped the real Jay Garrick, and it was later revealed. Even the recent season 9 of The Flash, we just concluded the series, he showed up as Zoom. So I don't know why they put him in there, why they didn't get Grant Gust, who has been the face of The Flash for about a decade, only for the directors to come and say that there wasn't room for him. Like, really? The CW were able to get Ezra Miller for their, multiverse crossover, but they can't get Grant Gustin in there for just 30 seconds, but instead used the actor who played a fake version of anyway, people are already clowning it on Twitter and online already, so I'm not going to talk much about it. But anyway, the cameos continue, and at the end of the movie, when Barry fixes everything, quote unquote fixes, even though he did change something again, the director Andy also makes a cameo at the end of the movie. When Barry is rushing to court, he steals a hot dog from a reporter, and that is the director. His father is exonerated. He then talks to Bruce on the phone, and then Bruce, he's there to congratulate him, only for him to see George Clooney's Bruce Wayne. But yeah, one of the least favorite Batman of all time. Barry is shocked. We are also shocked because we thought that things had gone back to normal. But then you have to remember that he changed the supermarket scene with his father, and thus it landed him here. The last cameo is of Jason Momoa's Aquaman. They've just come out of a bar, and Barry is telling him everything that he's been through with a different timeline, his past self, the multiverse, almost breaking everything. Arthur doesn't believe him. He just wants another place to drink and falls in a ditch full of mud water, and yeah, they keep doing Aquaman dirty ever since the 2018 movie. Now, one cameo many people have caught is not actually seen but heard. It's the sound of someone laughing during that final act when they were showing the cameos. And you all know who laughs like that is the Joker. But anyway, these are all the cameos in the movie. The movie, as I said in the intro, is not bad. I can say it's a 6.87 out of 10 movie. It had heart. The comedy, even though it didn't land some of the time, it was funny at some point. The action sequences were actually very good. I like how they show different ways the Flash used his powers. Of course, it's always good to see Ben Affleck. I think it's one of my favorite Batmans. Seeing Wonder Woman was a delight. Michael Keaton was also a great addition. How the CGI was just monstrous. The VFX, like, god damn. Like, how? I remember they were talking about how, the movie's not out yet. We should wait for the final one. They will fix everything before the movie's released, but here we are. Anyway, with James Gunn's new DCU, we don't know what's going to happen with The Flash. Warner Bros. Did come out to say that if the movie makes as much as, the Batman did, which is about 700 million plus, then they are going to make a sequel, which is surprisingly low for, you would think that, hey, if the movie makes $1 billion. But Zack Snyder's movies made more than that, but they deemed that as failures. Now, the original Flash movie was going to end, there was going to be a full Superman cameo. Like Henry Cavill, I think he filmed a scene or two. And the ending of The Flash was going to be Ben Affleck's Batman calling the Flash for help, kind of a reverse of what the Flash did in BVS. So Batfleck is stuck in the nightmare timeline, something that we saw in BVS and in Zack Snyder's Justice League, and he needs Barry's help. But with James Gunn coming in and talking about his own DCU, the reboot, everything got changed, and this is the ending that we got. Barry Allen stuck in George Clooney's Batman universe timeline, whatever. And thus it makes Ezra Miller's Flash future up in the air. We don't know whether he's going to be in James Gunn's DCU, because now he's not in the DCEU anymore. He's in a whole different timeline. So it's up to them whether they bring him back or recast him. Anyway, I have more videos on The Flash. Just uploaded one where I talked about how underrated he is, yet he's so OP. And I have a video about the evolution of speedsters, super speed, how it has evolved over the years. And do let me know in the comments below what you thought of this movie. And if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, it helps the channel out. And subscribe and turn on post notification bell not to miss any new video. As always, Nady Sage here. See you guys in the next one.
Stop Barry Allen. No! What does that mean? How can this...
I told Victor this was possible.